Hello, hi there YouTube. Welcome to this week of UPA. This week is going to be the battle of the fire and flying type mascots. This week, your Calgary Flamethrowers are taking on the Atlanta Talonflames in a Week 6 showdown. This is going up on New Year's Day, so Happy New Year's to everybody watching today. I absolutely hate this holiday, but I do hope you guys have a fantastic day regardless. Our opponent this week is going to be Jay Carlino, coach of the Atlanta Talonflames, as I had mentioned. His link will be in the description below. It will be prioritized because he is my opponent, as always. And I haven't really plugged it too much so far this season, but make sure to also go check out the UPA fan server. I haven't really been plugging it too much, but you can get yourself a nice Calgary Flamethrowers role in that Discord, so that would be pretty neat. I am recording this a little bit later than normal afterwards the battle, so my analysis might be a little bit off this week. But otherwise, I can still just talk about this team. I do not have much else to say. Our matchup is very good this week. He does have some annoying stuff that does allow his setup threats to be really threatening. But besides that, I'm not really too scared, as I can show you why his setup can be so threatening right now. As this week, Jay Carlino's team is G-Max Lapras, Celesteela, Mimikyu, Silvally, Venusaur, Glorian Moltres, Porygon 2, Tyrantrum, Charizard, Electivire, and Butterfree. Now, just right there, you can see a decent amount of setup threats, namely the Celesteela can be a big setup threat, Lapras with Policy, Mimikyu is the definition of setup, and a few other niche things like D-Dance Tyrantrum could be a set, and then as low as Quiver Dance Butterfree, right? So setting up the G-Max Resonance could be a big leeway into a setup threat of his, and that's something that I do have to watch out for. If you guys don't know, G-Max Resonance is Lapras' signature G-Max move that sets up Light Screen and Reflect. So not only do you do a bunch of damage, you get screens up, which is incredibly frustrating to face. One thing about my opponent that is very noticeable that I might try and exploit is the fact that he does bring a lot of very similar things. Best example is I think when he brings Tyrantrum, every time it's Choice Scarf. Moltres is usually Choice Specs. Lapras is Weakness Policy. Venusaur is Assault Vest quite often. Stuff like that, and I can definitely take advantage of that in prep. Of course, I'm not going to just ignore every other possibility, but it's something that if I'm going to make an assumption in the battle, it's most likely going to be something like that. And then finally, he's got one rocker. It's Tyrantrum. Not the greatest rocker in the entire world, so right there, that leeways into my next point and my plan of the week. I'm bringing Life Orb Charizard. It's meant to just nuke through his team mid-game. And then, as you can tell by the thumbnail this week, Stone Joiner, our final member of the team who has yet to come, is coming this week. And it should clean up the game with a little bit of help from the Charizard. So I'm really excited to see how well this will perform. I think Stone Joiner had a really good matchup, and I think this is going to go pretty well. Our matchup, again, pretty solid, and what I am going to be bringing this week is going to be the Stone Joiner, the Rotom Wash, the Charizard, Ferrothorn, Crocodile, and Throw. As mentioned, making its season debut is Stone Joiner this week. This is a Choice Scarf set that is an Adamant nature with a decent amount of speed and a little bit of spit def, but most of it's an attack. Moves being Stone Edge, Earthquake, Superpower, and Heat Crash. Stone Joiner is our cleaner this week. I thought this had a really good matchup because my opponent does not have a rock resist unless he has Silvally Ground or something like that. Everything is at least neutral to rock, and he's got a pretty big rock weakness to begin with. So spamming Stone Edge is going to be incredibly helpful in this game. It does two-shot most things unless it's defensive Celesteela, and in that case it's not too hard to beat. I do have coverage moves just in case I need to hit other things like Earthquake for Electivire, Tyrantrum for example, Superpower for a few things like P2, stuff like that. That's really the big thing about Stone Joiner. And another note I wanted to add is that it's used to kind of be a switch into some things. It can always take a hit from Mimikyu, even at +2 it can always take a hit. Tyrantrum, if I need to take one, I can. Basically, all of his physical attackers I can take any one hit from, I think, just because Stone Joiner is so naturally bulky. And I felt like that would be very useful for this matchup, and hence why, again, it's coming for the first time this season. Next up is going to be our Rotom Wash. This is almost max HP, a lot of speed, with a little bit of special attack with the Rindoberry. Moves being Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Pain Split, and Will-O-Wisp. A pretty standard Rotom set. This Pain and Willow will stall out the Lapras, as this is what it is mainly here for. The Lapras and the Celesteela. This is 100% my best Celesteela answer. Can always either burn it and cripple its recovery, Pain Split for similar reasons, Volt Switch for super effective damage, and all around just a really good pivot in this game. It doesn't, besides Lapras and Celesteela, it doesn't really hard wall anything really effectively, hence why it's just going to be a pivot in this game. But still really important because without prepping for Celesteela, then that thing can be a big threat really fast. That is going to be Rotom Wash this week. For the second time this season, Gmax Charizard is coming to a game where it is not heavy duty boots. This is a Life Orb Charizard with solar power, almost max speed, max special attack, moves being a Flamethrower, Hurricane, Scorching Sands, and Roost. This was almost a weakness policy set, but Life Orb was just a little bit more reliable in this game, so I went that route in the end. It's another way to deal with Celesteela, like a good way of dealing with it, because once again, if you don't prep for it, it becomes an issue. Gmax is really nice because I can take any one hit except for Head Smash, of course, from Tyrantrum, if I am in Gmax form, which is really nice. This thing wrecks through a lot of his team. Some notes that I need to take into account is I need to be a +1 to outspeed a Scarf Tyrantrum with max Airstream. Eviolite needs to be gone off of Porygon 2 in order to actually do good damage to it. And then Lapras needs to not have its Gmax around. I don't really do too much damage to a Lapras without its Gmax, even without the Resonance. But if it's baby form and it has no screens up, then I'm doing a lot of damage to it. So it's here just to be used mid-game and just as a way to deal with Celesteela from an offensive standpoint. And finally, I'm Solar Power just in case he brings Manual Sun for Chlorophyll Venusaur, because that could be a little bit of a threat against my team. I can take advantage of that and just kill 3 Pokemon on the spot right there. Just a thought, and that is Charizard. Fourth up is going to be our Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn is max HP, 100 defense, and 156 but def, with the leftovers moves being Stealth Rock, Toxic, Leech Seed, and Gyro Ball. This is an extremely standard Ferrothorn set, nothing special about it. However, this destroys his team. This just absolutely goes in against him and he does not have good answers to this thing. I do have to prioritize using this against stuff like the Mimikyu and the Porygon 2, just so I can deal with Mimikyu defensively. Porygon 2, I can Toxic and put it on a timer. I can get rocks up. His only good defogger is Silvally, which, is a good defogger. But if that's gone or doesn't even come, then, free rocks, right? And then that's just, mainly the big thing. I want to take a look at it. His fire type is a Charizard who doesn't have a good matchup. He doesn't have a fighting type. And his coverage is pretty lackluster in between that. He has, fire move on Celesteela and Electivire, who he does like to bring. But otherwise, it looks pretty good for Ferrothorn, and I think it's going to do a lot this game. Usually this is the part where I talk about a filler mon, but I feel like every mon on the team has a really good role in this game. As we're going to talk about Krookodile next. Krookodile is max attack, a decent amount of speed, and a little bit of HP too, with the Assault Vest and the Intimidate ability. Moves being Earthquake, Knockoff, Close Combat, and Stone Edge. I needed some sort of Moltres switch in, because at this point, Specs Moltres, or just any type of boosted Moltres, is really good against my defense, so I actually have to be really careful dealing with that thing. AV Crook lets me take any hit from a Specs Moltres, especially if they click Fiery Wrath, then I have nothing to worry about. If they click Specs Hurricane, it's going to hurt a lot, but I can live it somewhat comfortably and then, switch in the Rotom and take nothing. So that is, why I have AV this week on the set. Knockoff is dumb spammable in this team. Knocking off anything is so nice, except for, Silvally Memory, of course. Doesn't do too much. Prepping for Silvally is kind of weird for me because I just have to kind of depend on what type he brings and then adjust to it accordingly throughout the battle. So I didn't really look at it too hard in prep. But again, besides Silvally, Knockoff is super spammable. These other coverage moves basically hit everything on his team super effectively except for Celesteela, I think. And then again, just knocking that thing off is just a huge win for me in its own right. And then I have Intimidate for his physical attackers, so stuff like the Tyrantrum, The Electivire I know he likes to bring, and a few other things. I can just come in and intimidate and always take a hit and then be on my way. So Crocodile's utility is insane in this game, and just like every other Pokemon, I think it has a good role in this game. Finally, for our 6th Pokemon, we have Throw. Throw is coming to another game. I keep emphasizing every week, but just the fact that I said it wouldn't come, and now it's like one of my most used mons, is insane. A Throw is max HP, a decent amount of attack with an adamant nature, and a little bit of Spit Def, with the leftovers moves being Bulk Up, Brick Break, Stone Edge, and Fire Punch. I just threw it on the team because I wanted another P2 answer. I offensively struggle to beat P2 quite a bit unless its Eviolite is knocked off by Crook. So until then, I need to deal with it more defensively, and just having another defensive answer to it is really nice. And having a mon that has Brick Break is also nice because that breaks G-Max Resonance. So just in case he doesn't bring Weakness Policy, Lapras, and he brings Light Clay, I can Brick Break and break the screens and be on my way and feel pretty comfortable about it. And then the Bulk Up set in its own right can just win in the right circumstances. And that's kind of just all Throw is here for. It's also really tanky, can take a bunch of hits, but we all know that by now. We've seen it through the past UPA battles. But that's going to wrap it up for Throw. I started speeding up there at the end, but overall, that is going to be our team builder. Make sure, once again, to go check out Jake Carlino. His link will be in the description below. And once again, Happy New Year's. Hope you guys are having a good day, and I will see you guys in the battle. Alright, so here we are in the battle. Good luck, have fun to my opponent here. You guys are going to see this on New Year's, so that's really exciting. As I do every team builder, I say this every single time, just going to cross out notes in the beginning portion. No Celesteela, which is amazing, and no Mimikyu either, nice. And no Venusaur, okay, he's brought Venusaur a lot, though it isn't great against my team, so I do understand that move. I'm surprisingly pretty nervous right now. I have a pretty good matchup here, but for some reason the nerves are getting to me. Let's just get rid of everything that I don't need on here. None of that. Galarian Moltres is also pretty scary against my team. Now, let's think here. No Celesteela is so awesome. Charizard doesn't look crazy important here compared to what it once did. What I'm gonna do, let me look at the lead matchup and think about it. Crook looks amazing as a lead. Crook looks amazing. I think I'm just gonna do that. I do need Crook as a switch into Moltres though, is the only thing. But I still think I want to lead with it. Charizard wouldn't be bad, but I think I'm just gonna stick with this. And yeah, we'll lock in. I think Silvalley's worst case scenario, if not Lapras, though I don't really see a Lapras lead. So yeah, once again, good luck, have fun to my opponent. Really excited for this. And we'll see what happens in this battle. Tyrantrum is here. A little quiet. As we're going to see the Electivire lead. This is a great lead for me, because I do have the Intimidate on this Pokemon here. And I could either knock off or Earthquake. Part of me wants to knock off, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I'm just going to do. He's probably going to be faster than me, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I'll just knock off. If he wants to go into Moltres, I'm cool with knocking off whatever it has. And then I can Stone Edge the next turn. Yes, I think I got everything on the notes here. One more thing here, okay. Just waiting still. Alright, so I'm glad I got a lead. I don't always get a lead right, so I'm glad I did that time. So yeah. Crook looks pretty good here. Charizard, if I can get my speed boost up or knock off the Eviolite on Porygon 2, then it's pretty good. He does withdraw, and he's going to go into the... I think this is the Moltres. Yeah, okay, so that's good. Get some nice damage on this really early. That's some good damage. And I'm going to knock off its Choice Spec, so I'm glad that I knocked that off. I don't think Stone Edge kills, and it will put it into Berserk range. Let me see. If that did about 25-ish%, that might actually, Stone Edge has a good chance to kill. Look like it. I shouldn't take too much from whatever he wants to throw at me. He might just U-turn out, to be honest, as I'm actually faster, which is amazing. And we're going to just straight up knock it out. That is a great start to this game. That thing was a really big threat to my team, so I'm glad it's already gone. So Moltres is down, and we have a Crook in that has a pretty solid matchup here. I wouldn't be shocked if the Lapras comes out at this point and just wants to throw off an attack. Lapras is not the biggest deal in the entire world. It is G-Max, so it is going to be annoying with its max move as P2 comes out, and I'm just going to immediately click the knockoff button on this thing. I do not want this thing's Eviolite existing. I will gladly take an Ice Beam or whatever for it. He's actually analytic because he didn't show Trace or Download. So the Ice Beam's going to hurt if he throws that off. He might just Toxic, to be honest. Crook is, well, it's still, of course, it is really good in this game. It's not as important now because the Moltres is gone. Still really good for things like the Intimidate, the Tyrantrum, and Electivire. And maybe depending on the Silvally type. I'm a little bit worried because I just don't know what type it is. We're going to knock off. It does like 20-ish% as he does fire off an Ice Beam. This will sting, but I am AV, so I will take it. So that does... Oh, he's defensive. He is defensive. I don't think close combat's going to kill this thing. So what I'm going to do actually is switch out and save this for a little bit later. And I'm going to go into either Ferrothorn or Throw. Which one's better here? Or which one's worse against this team? Probably Ferrothorn. So I'll actually go Ferrothorn first. Maybe get up rocks. I could Toxic depending on the situation. But I do want to keep this thing around. This Ferrothorn's going to come out. This thing is nice for the G-Max Lapras, but I also have a Rotom. So I'm not too worried about it. Does a decent chunk, not too much. I don't like playing with the F word. I'm not going to say it because last week I said something and it happened that was not good for me. Because he has Silvally, he could just defog rocks away if I throw him up. But that does... I still really like rocks here, to be honest. I'm going to throw up rocks. At least it forces a defog later. And I maybe can find out what type Silvally is. As... what's this? Silvally, I think... is that Steel? I mean, I can check after the series of events ends here. I can... let's see, I get leftovers. I'm just going to Leech Seed this thing. If Flamethrower comes out, that just sucks for me, but I'm not too worried about it. As this thing is... Steel. Okay, I'm content with that. Yeah, I'll Leech Seed. He's probably just going to defog, and then the next turn Parting Shot. Unless he's got Flamethrower, then he might just click Flamethrower. He gets Fire Pledge. Okay, so same kind of deal there. It doesn't do a crazy ton. I'm okay with that. We do hit the Leech Seed, which is amazing. And I don't want to stay in on this thing now. Knowing it's a Steel type, I could just use Rotom as a switch into this thing, as I probably will end up doing. Ferrothorn's going to be back to around half, so that's pretty cool. If this thing has Defog, it has to have Parting Shot, the Silvally. So Parting Shot, Defog, Fire Pledge, and Steel move, that does not touch Rotom at all. Or Charizard, in matter of fact. That doesn't even touch Charizard. I don't want to be too aggressive, though, is the thing. Yeah, I'll go Rotom here. Throw being healthy still is going to be really nice for me. If he wants to defog, then maybe I could have went Charizard there. But it's fine. I don't want to risk anything. As he goes for the Fire Pledge again. So yeah, Charizard probably would have been the better play there, but I'm okay with Rotom. I'm probably just going to burn this thing. Residual damage on this is great because you cannot get it back. Or I could just Volt Switch into the Charizard. I really feel like I could just do that. Because he doesn't really have a good Charizard answer at this point, besides the Tyrantrum. I'm actually just going... I'm going to burn it first. I'm going to burn it. It's just good to be safe. He's got Rock Slide. I really don't think he does at this case, in this point in the battle, but he just defogs. So this could be looked at as a misplay because I keep playing too passively against this thing. But I am chipping it down. Now he's going to take Burn and Leech Seed chip, which is amazing. And now I can Volt Switch out this turn. That's just all I'm going to do here. And then I'll go out on a Charizard finally. So he might Parting Shot this turn, which would be a good play, but not the end of the world. And we'll see what this thing wants to do. I'm so glad Moltres is gone. That was such a big deal. And he only knows 2 of my moves in Volt Switch and Will-O-Wisp. There is a football game going on in the other room, though it's not of our team, so it shouldn't be too loud, as it hasn't really been so far, as he actually shows Shadow Claw. I'm okay with that. Charizard comes out and gets a kill, I think. Now, do I Dynamax is the question. I really don't want to. I could go out into Crook and fire off a free Earthquake. Though I might be slower than it. I'm gonna go Charizard. Because Tyrantrum isn't hard. If it's like Scarf Tyrantrum, which he has brought a lot, I'm not too scared of switching into that thing. It's not that scary. As I'm gonna get Leech Seed, even though I'm, at full health. I am faster than this thing. I know I am. He was faster than Rotom, and I have a lot of speed in that, so probably would have outsped Crook. I think he does actually. So I'm gonna Flamethrower or Scorching Sands is actually a better play, I think. You can't miss, right? No. Okay. So I'm actually just gonna Scorching Sands here, because if he wants to go into that Tyrantrum, it'll take a load of damage, and I would be very happy with that. As he's just gonna Sax the Valley. So this thing goes down. That's his only defogger, so once I get Rocks, if I throw him back in, I can probably just set up Rocks. And I'm glad I dealt with that thing. Silvalley's an annoying Pokemon to prep for, just because you don't know what type it is. I could have Hurricaned up there, but since Lapras hasn't G-Maxed it, I didn't really see the point in it. I wouldn't be shocked if Lapras comes out now. To that or Tyrantrum. I can always just G-Max up on P2 if that comes out. And if Evar comes out, unless it's Scarf, I'm faster than it, and I knock it out. Though I would probably want to play safe and keep this thing around, so I'd probably switch out. We'll see what my opponent wants to do here, but we're in a really good position right now. Again, I have to be a little bit careful of G-Max Lapras, and I have to preserve health on things for Tyrantrum too. But P2's not a threat. Electivire's not really a threat. And we're sitting pretty. As this is going to be the P2. This thing has no Eviolite, and it was more defensive than anything. I might just G-Max if this is going to be a thing, an Airstream. I don't think I'm going to kill, but he can't kill me back. Yeah, let's do it. I don't... Airstream stronger, right? Yeah. Or Airstream first, just so we can outspeed any Scarfers, and then we will Wildfire the next turn. Again, he might take it, but he's... We'll see. As I am Life Orb Charizard, so I'm hitting extra hard this week. I mentioned in the team builder his only rocker is Tyrantrum, which isn't a great rocker, so I wasn't too scared of rocks. So I felt just Life Orb for extra power was fine. So we're going to fire off this big max Airstream. And he just takes that. I'm actually kind of happy he took that. I want to get my Wildfire up. T-Bolt's going to hurt if he has that, which he does, but I should live. Yeah, I live with these. And now I can Wildfire. Now I'm going to think about it. Something will die here, or Lapras is just going to take a load of damage. Or Tyrantrum too, in fact. As we are just going to knock out the P2 here and get our Wildfire up. So this is just going amazing right now. P2 is dead. And I think he has to go into Lapras now in G-Max. And I'll probably just sack this thing at this point. I don't really need it for too much. Let me look. That is Lapras. He will be max HP most likely, because you don't really run speed on a Lapras. And what I can do here is, do I want to spit Death Boost, or do I just want to get some damage on this thing? I don't really need this thing. I'm just going to get the most damage, so I'm just going to Airstream again, I think. Yeah, I'll just Airstream again. I kind of hope he doesn't G-Max, but he should G-Max here, realistically. I have pretty good ways to revenge this, so not too scared. Throw is at full health in the back, too, so it deals with Tiny Wrench and Electivire pretty effectively. He is going to G-Max, so we do get to see the sweet G-Max Lapras here. This is a really cool Pokemon. I like this thing a lot. This thing does get the special move G-Max Resonance, which is very annoying, but we can deal with it. Again, we'll just get some damage here. So Airstream should do like 20-ish%, a little bit more, like a little bit less than 30. I'm cool with that, and he'll take Wildfire Chip. I should die to anything he throws at me. It's the Geyser, so yeah, I will drop to this. Charizard's gonna die, but Charizard put in a whole lot of work here. I'm very happy with that. And we can go into... It's not in Stone Joiner range because it's in rain still. What do I want to do here? Wildfire Chip, that's nice. I think Rotom's the play. And I'll just stall out its Dynamax. Because Rotom isn't crazy good against the other two. Stone Joiner is looking like I just might clean up, to be honest. As long as I keep throw healthy, then I think Tyrantrum should never be a problem. And Ferrothorn around. So just in case this thing's, he has ran Policy a lot, I'm actually just going to burn it first. I don't want to proc a Policy if I don't need to. And I can't Pain Split because he's got less health than me. So there's the burn. So if he's physical, he won't be doing too much. He sets up Resonance. I do have Brick Break on my throw, so once this Dynamax is over, I can just Brick Break at some point. That does a lot. Considering I'm max HP. More Wildfire Chip, and there's some Burn Chip. We have one more turn of Dynamax. I think I gain health if I Pain Split here. So I'm going to Pain Split, and then I'm going to Volt Switch. Yeah, that seems like to be the play, because this is the last turn of the Dynamax. And if he switches out, I'll just, get health back. Okay, so he stays in. I sort of figured. I do gain a little bit of health there. Not too much. This is going to hit harder than the Resonance because of the rain. I should live. Whew, I do, but that hurts. I want to see if Volt Switch kills this thing with the Resonance up. I really hope it does. But if it doesn't, it's not really the end of the world. What's it? Light Screen, Reflect. Where's the... Oh, there it is. I couldn't find Light Screen in the calc. I'm not a Dynamax Pokemon. I don't think I killed this thing. Yeah, I shouldn't kill this thing, but I'm still going to click the button anyway. Or maybe I'll Pain Split. Actually, I'll Pain Split. Again, if I die, it's not really the end of the world. I'm just so scared of Policy. And I want to have my throw in when Lapras dies. So I can Brick Break whatever comes in. Get rid of this annoying Resonance, and then we'll be good to go from there. Once again, should gain a little bit of health from this. I might die, but this definitely puts it in range of Freeze Dry. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I'm dead. So, yeah, Rotom goes down. And I can actually lock into Earthquake with Stone Joiner, I think. If he takes the Wildfire Chip, which he doesn't because it ends. I wish I could check how many turns I had left. I still want to go into Stone Joiner. Actually, I will go into Stone Joiner. Stone Joiner season debut. I can't believe it's coming to a game. I'm really happy it is, though. And let me just calc something real quick. How many turns left? 2 turns of Veil left. If this dies, it's not the end of the world, though I really do want to keep this thing around. With Veil, it does live in Earthquake, so I do have to hit a Stone Edge here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. We're just going to hit a Stone Edge. Yeah. I assume he just sacks this thing. As we hit, and Stonejourner gets a kill. Awesome. So Lapras dies. And Rain will end this turn. Not that it really matters, but it will end. The only thing really scary at this point is a Dragon Dance Tyrantrum. That thing could still beat me here. With some luck, but it can. If it's like Scarf, though, then I have this game in the bag. If he goes into Electivire, I'm just going to stay in Stone Edge. Or I don't know. Who do we hit? We still have everyone besides Charizard. Ferrothorn at health at half is a little bit annoying as this thing comes in, so I am going to switch out. And I'm going to save this, because I can always lock in an Earthquake. And I'm going to go, actually, I think going out in the Crook is a good play here. Yeah, I think actually Crook's a good play. Because I have Intimidate. This thing does get close combat now, which is a little annoying. But it shouldn't be the end of the world here. Only because it's a decent neutral play versus what I have at this point. Because Outrage, you can't lock into because of Ferrothorn. Head Smash, I have a Throw. And, I mean, Earthquake is okay. But CC just hits harder. As we're going to Intimidate this thing. As he's going to click Earthquake. Okay, so that's the mid-ground play I was talking about. Dude, that might not 2-KO me. I'm just going to click Earthquake. We can find out if it's Scarf right now. Because I do outspeed this thing otherwise. And it might not even kill me. We'll see. Because of the Intimidate. Electivire doesn't live. So things are looking upwards here. As he's going to withdraw the Tyrantrum. Go out into the Electivire, who will not take this Earthquake whatsoever. I just realized he had Electivire earlier. His nickname is Volkner, and that's why I nicknamed my Electivire, so that's cool. That just drops. So, yeah, this game is basically over. I don't really see a way where he can come out of this corner here. Yeah, he can't. He can only kill Crook if it's Scarf, and then I always revenge it with whatever. So, we'll just Earthquake here. And sort of wrap this up. I think, again, he's got to click like CC or Earthquake to hit everything on my team. I feel like he's going to click Earthquake. As he clicks Earthquake, and he is Scarf, so this will kill me. Yep. I can just go out into whatever, really. Everything is hit by it, but I think Throw is just the play here. Who do I want to give the kill to? Is just the question. I don't want this to like look bad. Like I'm trying to be a dick. I just want to see something on my calc here. Okay, I'll just go on a Throw. Because Earthquake will not do anything to me, and I can just Brick Break a few times, and that will be the game. No need to bulk up, I'll just Brick Break twice. I like Storm Throw over Brick Break, but because of the Resonance, it was a way to get rid of it, since I don't have Defog on this team. And Throw's going to get another kill. It's going to be my kill leader for the season, which is pretty amazing here. And yeah, we're just waiting. Earthquake had a chance to 2-KO Stonejourner, and I can't kill it in one hit, so that's why I wanted to give the kill to Stonejourner if I could, but it's really not a big deal. That does literally nothing, so yeah. Brick Break once, and one more time, and we will wrap this up. Pretty good game. I enjoyed this. I really feel like I was talking really fast during this narration. I'll have to go back and watch the replay. But again, you guys will be seeing this on New Year's Day, so happy 2021. We're out of 2020, but that doesn't mean the problems from there are gone. 2021 is probably just going to be pretty bad too. But we'll see. As we're going to break this Tyrantrum, and this game is going to be over. GG to my opponent, Joe DeFlamin, or just Jay Carlino. He goes by a few names, Joe. Thank you for the battle. It was a fun one. We are going to win 4-0. No, 3-0 actually. And move up to 6-0. Staying undefeated. I'm feeling really good about this. I'm glad I brought Stone Joiner. I'm glad he got a kill. And don't have too much else to say. Again, make sure to go check out my opponent in the description below. His link will be prioritized. I've been watching his battles as I do with all my opponents the week prior, and I enjoyed his content as always. So it's fun. Make sure to go check him out. I will see you guys next week. Don't remember. I think we're facing Jesse, coach of the Ann Arbor Selgors. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's our opponent. But thank you for watching. Have a fantastic day, YouTube, and a brand new year.